So at Billy's booth, setting up the stream. I got the dual camera thing going. Billy's over there autographing movies and stuff like that. Got a lot of donations coming in, helping Walter Day's trading card set, whole 9 yards. Free Play Florida. It's nuts.
No, I need a Sharpie. You got? What is this? Does this look like the kind of Sharpie I use? King of Kong? Here we go. Right, Force, keep that camera here. Of the 5 cheerleaders, one of them is still active in a lot of the promos we do. And now recently, one other one has come on the scene. It's just kind of cool to reminisce with people from your history, your passion, and all that. Here's a question for you, Triforce. Looking here, twins, looking here. These 4 are dressed the same. This one is dressed a little different. The question is why?
Is he the captain?
Who knows the answer? I know the answer, but I'm not telling you.
Wonderful artist.
Oh, Billy. I really am.
Absolutely unique. A pioneer in the YouTubing world. He was the first one that actually created an impact and a following in the YouTube world. It's kind of cool to be first, isn't it?
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah, I guess it is. But I was told, and I verified, that he's, one of the reasons why he's such an angry video game nerd is he specializes in things that are really bad, really lousy, the worst films, the worst games, the worst. And I was told one time that he was so angry, he actually took a bottle of sauce, hot sauce, and drank it right onto YouTube. Is that all right? Now he told me that he didn't quite finish the bottle. So I thought I'd do him a favor, and I brought him a smaller bottle. So you're welcome to do it if you choose. Whenever you choose.
Oh, that was the episode. Yeah, that's right.
Walter's never turned on a microphone before. Okay, we're giving out trading card awards right now. It'll take a couple moments. We're going to honor the legendary George Lowe, the legendary James Ross.
That's okay.
He's getting angry now. This whole thing's going off the rails any minute.
We should have videoed that.
Okay, let's do the work here.
But the point is, without lying to you, if you look around, I'm a fanatic.
Oh.
I don't let stuff get like out of place. Then you feel like you're living in a pig pen. You know?
So Todd, how was the journey up here with Leo?
Exhausted.
Oh. How many hours from Tampa?
2. 17, 18.
What?
Felt like it. Should be like 2 or 3 hours, depending upon traffic, but I'm getting over the flu, so any hour seems like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Good thing is I lost 20 pounds. I'm down to 245.
245, that's not bad. Wait, what are we eating?
We're the same as me.
So that's the same as you?
We're the same as me. I weigh 245. Oh, no, my IQ is 245. I'm sorry. I always get those mixed up. I always get those two mixed up.
Wrong. No, your credit score
interpretation.
5.
classic.
Yes.
Masaya Nakamoto
Yes,
said on
yeah.
stage, he predicted that this would be that it would rejuvenate the interest in classic gaming. When you have a car, for example, it's 20 years old, suddenly it's a collectible again, there's a renewed interest.
Oh, I see.
Yes, it's interesting when it's new, and 20 years later it's interesting again. And he predicted that it would be a rebirth of classic gaming. Apparently
I'm not
predicted
sure it would
correctly.
have happened in the way that it happened, though, if not for the things that happened, like the tournament, the world record. This stuff pushed forward this idea that these games were still relevant. You know, that they weren't old junk that you threw in the backlog.
They were something that would stick with us, like Monopoly.
Yeah, because playing Pac-Man is a much harder, much more skill testing experience than playing many modern games that are designed to reward the user simply for playing.
Yeah,
These were designed to punish you.
Yeah.
Like
They were
Most
designed.
old school games are designed to punish you.
They were designed to take your money.
Yeah, that was the whole
So if
point.
you could survive them, it was something.
So,
And he said he owned movie studios, and he said there should be a film done on this. He said it, and that is when film crew started following us. But you got to realize, phone calls, interviews, requests came, and I flooded. I was on a cruise ship with my family, and they found me on a cruise ship. I was on a cruise ship in Mexico, and they found me. And I mean, the guys flew in from Germany, Der Stern, or was it Der Spiegel, Walter? Anyway, so I mean, languages and countries that you didn't know existed, and I've thought to myself, I really did, like you say, the events, the contest, the location, the time, the event, the U.S., Canada, the holiday weekend. Timing is everything.
Auspicious.
And I thought, how would I ever funnel all that energy, once again, all those odds, all that time into one burst again? And I can't even begin to think how to do it. That's why I say, and when I'm in these panel discussions, the good fortune I've had.
Yeah.
I don't know how to duplicate that. If I did, I'd do it again.
It was a time and a place.
When you came, all right, so started from Fun Spot, got to Twin Galaxies, got past Twin Galaxies, went to Japan, got past Japan, came back to Twin Galaxies. When you got back to Twin Galaxies, because this is a question I want to ask Walter. So when it came back from, because I don't know, when I'm trying
I think I know where you're going. Yes, there was inquiries from Guinness. Yes, it was spoken of. Yes, it did happen. Remember, back then, you submit something to Guinness. That doesn't mean they publish it. Sure, they archive it.
Yeah.
At that time, they were not publishing video game scores. So they would take your information, they would archive it, but they choose to publish it or not. Now, this was a special event because it was the first perfect Pac-Man game, the first perfect score on the largest game in video game history.
I mean, that can't be overstated.
Right.
Like if he had been playing Popeye or Tron or something, this wouldn't have happened
Rah,
this
rah.
way. Nobody would have cared that much.
There are other games that there's been perfect scores on
Right,
that are irrelevant, but remember back then, Guinness was published once a year. Because games have different settings, difficulty, number of men, extra men, joysticks, buttons, everything. So his company, was the authority that oversaw it. And the fact of the matter is that's what Guinness accepted, because then they knew it was one standard. How would they ever accept scores in any other capacity?
Yes, and they had to trust us to pioneer the game-specific rules, because each game doesn't have, in most cases, the games have game-specific rules, because one game will have a bug we have to work around and watch for it. Another one will have certain restrictions on how many men you should be getting under certain circumstances. So we had to devise and pioneer the rules, and they accepted our rules, and it was very, very good. And essentially, for 4 straight years, they published high scores on video games. And then when they stopped publishing, it was because of the trend of that time was moving away from it, and they wanted to use those. Well, they started publishing actually 4 pages, I think, of scores at the peak. I think in the 1986 edition of the Guinness World Record book. And that was tremendous, because by then we were having a contest be conducted simultaneously in August in like 35, 40 different locations around the United States.
It wasn't until a few years ago that they began accepting scores from other authorities or other reputable authorities.
The game industry, the universe of competitive gameplay is so vast and so expansive that even though Twin Galaxies is the grandfather of it all and the gold standard of it all, we can't cover everything. There's just too many different titles, with too many different variations, with too many different cultures who are doing speed runs on this, or doing head-to-head elimination on this, and the fighting games and the sports games. And so there's no way that we could cover everything because the field is that big. It's easy for the NFL to cover football because it's 32 teams, but there's tens of thousands of potential different variations of teams and groups and activities that we have to follow, and that's not possible.
Which leads up to where we are now, and that's the modern esports scene, because there's the genre of games that everyone up here plays is called retro, but the era is called classic. There's a difference between people mix the two. So the era of games, so you have two different ages. You have the classic esports age, and then you have the modern esports age. And that's how you differentiate, so you understand which one. Obviously, you'll have the pre, which is a prehistoric. So pre is the competitive games that led up to it turning into a sport. Like we said, we're not here to try to rewrite history. We're here to try to make sure that it is comprehensively put together and so everyone understands it. Because what we're leading up to now is after the 1986, the retro scene went into what Billy calls the dark ages, because video games started to come home. So arcade games were dying. The arcades were suffering throughout the entire nation and all around. And keep in mind, I don't want you guys to think that this has been a nation thing. Twin Galaxies actually went international in the early 80s. Was it Italy and Japan that you was trying to put together a competition for to compete against? Can you speak on that?
Yeah, and we had people from Italy come visit.
So essentially, we started the U.S. National Video Game Team. It was started to just organize
1983.
The American gamers into a team, a national team, that would face off with initially Italy and Japan. Those were our focus because Italy had been responding favorably and was excited about our efforts to have a U.S. team come there and face the Italians and Japanese. So we actually got members of the U.S. National Video Game Team in a car load of them, drove to Washington, D.C., to the Washington Embassy, Japanese Embassy in Washington, the Italian Embassy. In the Italian Embassy, we had a nice proclamation with very ornate, writing and everything, seal ribbon, and we had it from the mayor of Ottumwa signed, because he's the patriarch of the video game capital of the world, the mayor of Ottumwa. And we presented it at the Italian Embassy, and they were very, very favorable, very respectful, considered it seriously, and said, we will get this to the proper authorities and see what we can make out of this.
But
then we went to the Japanese authority, the Japanese Embassy.
Okay, we're over here in the Donkey Kong section. Obviously, Billy's playing. Let's take a look.